Hey guys, my name is Trishi. Welcome to We Level Up Everywhere. This is my first YouTube video, and I'm super excited to have you guys along the journey. We Level Up Everywhere. What is this about? I want you guys to level up in every aspect of your life. I'm talking your finances, I'm talking your financial literacy, I'm talking your business, your pursuit of financial capital. I'm talking your relationships. I'm talking your purpose, right? Your connection, your relationship with God. I want to help you level up in every aspect of your life. Quick background before we continue. Now, again, my name is Trishi, and I was very lucky enough. Last week, I left my 9 to 5 job. I can talk more about that in another video. The reason why I wanted to come onto this platform and share my message with you guys is because I kind of feel like the first 18 years of my life, I kind of lived on autopilot, just doing things that were done around me, not very intentional with my life, not looking at, um, you know, how to kind of move the needle in areas of my life that will really bring me true success. And so, what I really want to do is share with you what I've learned from 2020 to like 2025. These were the years where I was like 18 to 22, 23, where I'm slowly starting to learn more about what it is to live an intentional life, a life designed for success. So, let's hop into it. So, again, we level up everywhere. I promise it's not always going to be like a whiteboard. It's going to be better editing, but for now, bear with me. So we level up everywhere. So I believe you got quadrants of wealth, right? That you want to work on. So for me, like the first one is your health, right? That's the most important. Then you got your wealth, your money. Then you got your relationships. And then you got your happiness plus your purpose. So first you got your health, then you got your money, then you got your relationships, and then you have your happiness and purpose. Now what's interesting is your happiness, it's directly proportional to the progress you're making in your health, your money, and your relationships. And the purpose is kind of what's giving you the correct mindset, the correct perspective when you're going through life. Let's break down health first. So for the first one, health, we have a three-part equation. We have your fitness, we have your diet, and we have your recovery. Now, a quick preface before we get into it. Health in general, it's different for all of us, right? Because we have a different starting point. Some of us are trying to lose weight. Some of us are trying to gain healthy weight. Some of us are just trying to go on cruise control and maintain what we have. So it varies. But I wanted to share my systems with you that help me be more consistent in my goals. So preface for my diet. So it's interesting. One thing is I don't have processed foods from Monday to Friday, as well as I don't have artificial sugars from Monday to Friday. There might be like one or two exceptions where if there's like a very nice dinner, if it's like my birthday or it's my mom's birthday, then I might enjoy it. But Monday to Friday, usually I'm pretty strict with not having artificial sugars or processed food. Really just home cooked meals or meals that I cook myself. Now, Saturday, Sunday, I let myself enjoy a bit. Why? Because first, you don't want to burn out, right? So it's like if like Friday hits and you're like, I really would love to, have like a nice dessert, then enjoy yourself like Saturday, Sunday. And what you'll notice is by Sunday afternoon, you'll be like, wow, like I really treated myself well. I'm disciplined enough to go another 5 days. So it's like a perfect loop, if you understand, you know? So that's my diet. That's like how I think of diet. Monday to Friday, I stay disciplined. Saturday, Sunday, I let myself relax because it allows me to like deviate just a little bit and then come back right on the course. It helps me be consistent without burning out. So that's what I do for my diet. Now, the systems I have built for like what I eat every day, there's like I have 5 different options for every meal that I have. So of course you got your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I try to have 5 options for breakfast, 5 options for lunch, 5 options for dinner. So these are the two main indicators that I look at for my diet. One is I make sure that every meal it's well balanced. It's got its healthy carbs, healthy protein, healthy fats. And then the second is I'm trying to make sure I'm hitting the amount of protein I should be having every day. How I calculate the amount of protein I need every day, it's 80% of my body weight and that in grams. So for example, if I was 200 pounds and I wanted 80% of that, so that's 160. So I'm having 160 grams of protein. That's my goal there. Again, if I might not always hit it, but I try to work up to it. Like I try to get at like 130 plus. So that's my system for my diet. Now for my fitness, it's also a three-parted equation. You have your strength, your mobility, and your endurance, right? Your strength is how much weight can you move? Now your endurance is like how hard can you sprint without stopping, or how many push-ups can you do without giving up? Like that's endurance. Like what's your muscle endurance? How far can you go? Like how much lactic acid buildup can your muscle groups endure? That's your endurance. Now, your mobility is how mobile are your joints, right? How can you do this? Like are you mobile? Are you flexible? Or like you see those like bodybuilders, like they're like this and they can't even like touch their back. You don't want to be like that, right? You want to be mobile, you want to be flexible, right? So I mean, you see it like a kid, like a baby, like a 3-year-old, like my nephew, when he squats, like his heels don't come off the ground. Like he just squat. Like he's very flexible, very mobile. His ankles have a lot of mobility. So same way we have to work on our mobility. So personally for me, I have found that I like thinking about it in a longevity perspective. And so I love CrossFit because CrossFit kind of blends everything together, right? You get your strength and your endurance because the workouts you're doing are basically full body movements where you're hitting every part of your body every day. So it's more functional, and it's tailored towards more of long-term health instead of like isolating muscle groups, which is also perfectly fine. If that's your thing, at the end of the day, you want to do something that you can happily do and consistently do. But for me personally, I love full body workouts because they are basically hitting all three of these. When you're snatching, or when you're cleaning, or when you're doing wall balls, or when you're even just doing the basic things like push ups, sit ups, squats, um, CrossFit is very good at mixing everything together and making sure you're hitting every part of your body. So that's why I love CrossFit. Specifically for mobility, I feel like it's very great to do stretches post and pre workout that are working on your mobility. So for me, I know this guy on YouTube. The YouTube channel's name is Strength Side. He is amazing at sharing great tips and exercises that you can do to really open up your hips, open up your shoulders, make sure your chest is nice and loose. Like every part of your body, he makes sure that he has like a great exercise for it to make sure you're working on the mobility for it. Like even hanging, like he's big on hanging because he's like everything here gets nice and stretched out. Definitely check him out. Now your recovery. Recovery is simple. It's basically just your sleep. So for me, sleep, you want to have a dark and chill room. I got like these things. So what these do is they make sure like my room gets pitch black dark by the time it's like 10, 11 p.m. And then I make it chill. So I have like an AC here. I make it like 68-ish. And then, of course, I'm trying to eat my last meal by 6:30 because we don't want our stomach to be working while we're trying to fall asleep. We want to be fully digested. So when we are resting, we're really recovering all parts of our body. And then, of course, we want to make sure we're not like really stimulating ourselves with blue light through screens. So trying to stay away from that 1 to 2 hours before sleep. That is health for me, right? You got your diet, you got your fitness, and you got your recovery. Now, you just want to have simple systems for each one. Like it might take some time up front, right? Figuring out the right meals for your diet, the right workout for your fitness that you enjoy, whether that's even tennis, whether that's basketball, whether that's skiing with your buddies. You want to have something that you enjoy and you would consistently do long enough full transparency, when I was in 2020, I was like 200 pounds and probably like 3 inches shorter. And what I did was I used to just play tennis with my brother, my oldest brother. And when he got a job in the pandemic, I just used his ball machine, like it just slings out balls. I used to just take it to the local beach, like tennis courts, and I used to just keep hitting them. And that's actually how I lost a good amount of my weight early on, just because I was doing that every day because I enjoyed it. So the main thing is, if you're one of those people who have to lose a good amount of weight, just do something that you enjoy. Do something that you can easily be consistent in, because that's what's gonna get you the best results. Whatever you do consistently. And for the recovery, it's really just, making sure you're sleeping on time, making sure you're sleeping well. Again, this takes discipline, because sometimes myself, like I'll be like, no, I want to spend time with my family. Let me just sit down with them. But no, it's like, you want to be a bit disciplined, even if it's 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. Have a set time where you're like, all right, now I got to go into my room and I got to keep it dark and I have to just relax. Have a time, make sure it's a bit more lenient so you're more likely to be consistent with it. It's hard because you have to have the discipline to, get in bed by like, 10, 11 p.m. It's hard. Even earlier sometimes, like 8 to 9 p.m. It depends on, if you work. Like, for example, when I was working my 9 to 5, I would have to wake up at 5 because I would have to work out before work, and then come home. And then I was very lucky enough to train my mom. And so I couldn't like go to the gym after work because my mom would be waiting for me so she gets trained. So what you want to do to ensure you are still on track in life, like let's just call it, you want to keep the time you're waking up consistent, regardless of when you sleep. So it's like if one day you were supposed to be in bed by like 9:30, 10, but it's like 12:30 now, but you have to wake up at 5:30. Have the hard, firm hand and tell yourself, dude, you still have to wake up at 5:30. I know that's tough early on, but what that's going to do is it's going to make sure it's a non-negotiable, your wake up time. And your body's automatically going to be like, all right, dude, like this dude's not going to like bend this rule. So let's just be smart about it. Let's just sleep more on time. You'll notice it because you'll be so exhausted by the time it's like 9:30, 10:30 p.m. And you'll just be like, dude, let me just go to sleep. And then it gets easier for you to be more consistent and more disciplined because you're actually tired, right? So just having that firm wake up time is the biggest hack that I have found in having a good sleep schedule. Just wake up when you say you are. And the best way I do that is I just wake up, or I'll just go for a walk. Or I wake up and I know I have to drive to my gym to work out. Like, just do something that's moving your body. For me personally, I can't, like, if I'm very groggy, I can't like go to study or do something like silent work, because I'm already very groggy. So what I do is usually I try to wake myself up through a tough workout or just walking outside with fresh oxygen, because that'll wake me up. And plus, it's movement, right? It's your fitness. So it's like two in one. So that's my thing with sleep. Have a firm time that you're gonna wake up every day, right? And then when you do wake up, if you're groggy, then try to do something that's getting you moving, whether it's a quick body weight circuits, whether it's walking outside, whether it's going to the gym for a workout, whatever it is, get your body moving. And I promise you, you're going to notice your day, you'll feel like such a winner. Waking up early is one of the best ways to improve your self-esteem, because you realize you ate the frog, you ate the hard pill in the morning. You did the hard thing in the morning, and so everything kind of goes downhill in terms of difficulty the whole day. So that's health. Second one, money. The second type of wealth. When we think of money and the transfer of it between people, it's really a transfer of value, right? Where one guy is meeting your need and that's why you pay them. Personally, I'll tell you what I do. Into e-commerce, and I love e-commerce because that it's simply that you're meeting a need in the marketplace. You're finding a white space. You're finding a place where you feel customers aren't, or like a certain customer audience isn't being served very well, and you are trying to craft a beautiful product that you feel might not have been crafted or hasn't been crafted well enough. And so you want to craft a product just for that one niche audience. And I find it's just so beautiful to me seeing like successful brands. Like that's one of my passions. Like one thing I will be doing is going on LinkedIn and sharing my ideas on successful e-commerce startups and companies that have just taken off because they had that perfect product market fit, meaning they were able to find a perfect white space in all of goods, where people weren't being served very well, and they were able to capitalize on that, make a beautiful product, and deliver it to that end consumer. I love that idea. That's why I love e-commerce, and I'm going to be talking a lot about it. But that's how I want to pursue my money because again, it's just you're solving a need. Of course, you got your traditional path where you're solving a need or solving a problem, maybe under an entity, like under a company, where you're an employee and you're trying to solve a problem for them, whether it's bringing their service or product to the world, which is also fantastic because it's one of the best ways to learn. But in the long term, when I think about it, I'm like, dude, in terms of money, I want to do something that one lights me up, two, I'm kind of like talented in it, and three, it really helps people. It solves a need and a need that I'm proud of solving, right? So that's my thought process. Personally, for me, I'm starting an e-commerce brand. I'll tell you guys more about it um, when I have more context. But but yeah, like I'm super excited about that because I feel like I will be solving a true need, and I feel like people can benefit from that, And there's like a different level of joy when you know that your pursuit of wealth is a byproduct of just trying to help someone. That's really the main thing, and that's a perfect segue to my next point, which is AI is big right now, right? Like you look at the advent of AI, it's kind of like how the internet was in like the early 2000s, late 1990s, right? And how when I think of AI, I'm thinking right now we're still in the beginning of AI, like right here. But when you were thinking again long term, like 50, 60 years, what is a career or a line of work we want to go in that will either be of AI, like leveraging AI to help the world bring better products, bring better services, or what's a AI proof model that we can use, whether that's building a community around people who want to better themselves, whether it's um, like your boring businesses, right? Your car washes, your plumbing, your insurance, your home cleaning, right? These businesses are going to go way up when AI is emerging, simply because a lot of people will be gravitating towards AI, but they'll forget the simple truth that regardless of how advanced AI is, if your toilet's broken, you're gonna have to call a plumber, right? So it's like these boring businesses are here to stay still, and so that's another way that personally I am interested in generating my money because you want to find ways that are either with AI or AI proof, and because a lot of people are going towards AI, I'm trying to go towards the AI proof, which is again your boring businesses. I'll share personally for me, I got three books I wanted to share with you guys. So this book, and when it comes to money, um, I'm reading this book because I've realized that there's a lot more to financial literacy than just the basics. Like you have to learn things. You have to learn how to manage your money. You have to learn how to find the right bank accounts for yourself, and how to kind of create money flows where the second money's coming into your account, some of it's going into your investment, some of them is going into your savings, some of it's going to pay your bills. There's things to this that I'm learning right now, and it's really exciting. So the book I'm reading is by Ramit Sethi. It's called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Super interesting book. This guy really covers the basics, and it's great for people like me because I'm kind of just learning the ABCs of financial literacy, right? Like one great thing he says that brings me a lot of ease is just like you don't have to be like a professional, like licensed nutritionist to be healthy, the same way you don't have to be like a Wall Street stockbroker or like a financial wealth management expert to be good with your money. You can just do the basics and be good. So that's my goal with financial literacy. Just I'm gonna read this book. I'll let you guys know what it is. But this was a book. 12 Months to 1 Million by Ryan Daniel Moran. This is that e-commerce book this is like more towards e-commerce that I wanted to share with you guys. I love this book. This dude really talks about how it is absolutely doable to find a problem, again, in just all of consumer packaged goods, all of just goods in general, finding a specific problem that isn't being served or isn't being served very well, or a problem that you're really passionate about that you feel like you can bring a better message to the world, or if the product is already out there but it's not being delivered like through marketing. It's not being delivered to an audience that that could benefit from it. For example, you got your wet wipes, right? You have your normal wet wipes, like in Walgreens and CVS, and there's probably like a big chain of companies that sell normal wet wipes, and they probably do very well. But this one company, Dude Wipes, what they did is they had the marketing angle of going just towards men. And the reason why was because at that time they thought like men were a bit more conscious of using wet wipes because it was a bit more feminine apparently. And so this dude's like, nah, dude, I use wet wipes. I'm gonna make a brand around this. And that's how it works sometimes. If you have a product that's like a household product, but you feel like you can have a different marketing angle on it and speak to a very distinct um, avatar, a distinct customer audience that hasn't been served yet, go for it. Like that's how a lot of brands are made. You think of Liquid Death. What do they sell? They just sell water, right? But the way they marketed it, the spin they've made on it, making it in an energy drink bottle, like making it in like a monster can, right? For people who and like the slogans like "Murder Your Thirst," right? It's like the spin they've made on the marketing angle is what drove so much attention towards it. So this book is really key because it's teaching me. Well, I've read it, but I'm going to keep reading it. It's teaching me amazing. Well, one, it's teaching me tactically how to start and launch an e-commerce business that I love. Two, it's giving me the mindset training, saying that it is possible to do very well solving a problem for a key select audience. And third, it has this amazing repository of case studies that really show me that it's possible. So that's my third one. And now my last one, which I was talking about, like the boring businesses, the AI proof model. This book I'm gonna read. I've read like the first few pages, but I just wanted to share it with you first too. I'll make a separate video about what I think about it when I finish reading it. But it's called How to Make Extraordinary Wealth Buying Ordinary Businesses. Main Street Millionaire by Cody Sanchez. I'm very excited to read this book because I feel like it will affirm a lot of the initial thoughts I have already around boring businesses. But in this, I think she goes very tactical. She like breaks it down exactly as to how to make deals, how to do seller financing to buy boring businesses from people who like they're like 80, 90 years old, and they have a plumbing company that does great, but they don't want to run that anymore, and so they need someone to take it over. So it's like I think there's a huge opportunity for us um, in the AI proof space to build our money. So that's my thoughts around uh, achieving success in your money. It's really just finding something, right? Meeting a need, solving a problem, and my, small takeaway is, going more towards the AI proof because personally for me, I think it's more exciting. It's like a gold rush of opportunity that we're in right now with everyone going towards AI, having those boring businesses right at the forefront. That's something that I'm gonna have for sure. And plus e-commerce. I love e-commerce. I'm definitely gonna do something where I'm creating a brand and I want to help millions of people with something. Personally, for me, it's a supplement brand. It's more towards gut health that I want to work on, primarily because my brother, he has like a gut issue, and I want to serve people who have that. So that's kind of where my thought process is right now. However, it's ever evolving, but that's kind of my philosophy. So look, so that's the money aspect. Third one is relationships. Now, this is your bread and butter, right? Because regardless of how fit you are, healthy you are, and regardless of how much money you have, what's the point if you can't, share it with someone, share it with your loved one? one quote I wanted to share with you guys that I stand by is, and that I'm, working on implementing more in my life, is your loved ones, right? Truly the people who really love you, they don't care as much about your achievements as they do about how you treat them. I'm gonna say that one more time. Your loved ones don't care as much about your achievements as much as they do about how you treat them. And that's super important because for the longest time, I had the mentality that if I hit a certain number, right? When like a certain amount of money I've made, or I'm this fit, I'm this strong, my mom will be proud of me. But it's actually not the case. What people care, what your loved ones, the people who really care for you, what they care more about is how you treat them, how much time you spend with them, how present you are when you're with them. And early on, when you're trying to start, your business and you're trying to do things, it's hard to balance the two. But if you have the right systems in place, where you have a certain amount of time, this is the window in my day where I'm spending time with my family, or giving a call or a FaceTime call to my mom, even if it's just 30 to 40 minutes, it goes a long way in your relationships. So for me, it's just that idea. For my loved ones, it's just that one idea of, I have to treat my family well. Of course, my achievements will be for them. That's just the cherry on the top. But what's for them, what's the main thing, what's the chocolate cake, is how I treat them, right? And so that's my first thing. I have one more note around relationships. My second tip is always being in a relationship surplus. I'll explain this to you. So there's like surpluses and deficits. That's how I kind of look at relationships sometimes. It's not that I'm looking at it in a transactional perspective. I'm just trying to look at it like for myself. I know one of my goals in terms of self development is to be a giver. That's something I've had so much trouble with, being a giver, right? Getting out of my own way and being generous to someone, being selfless. I've had a lot of trouble with that. I'm gonna talk about that later in other videos. But um, but that's one of my goals. And so for me, when I look at relationships, it's like, how can I have a relationship surplus with this guy or this gal or my mom or my parents, right? And this is what relationship surplus and relationship deficit means. So relationship surplus means you are giving more than you are receiving, and relationship deficit means you are taking more than you're giving. So in your relationship deficit, you're taking more from someone and giving less. And your relationship surplus, you're giving more and taking less. So my goal is to have every relationship as a relationship surplus. I want every relationship to be of surplus, meaning I am giving more value than they're giving me. So my two things for relationships simply is your true loved ones, they don't care about your achievements, they care about how you treat them. And number two is always being a relationship surplus. Now, up until now, we've hit the three main things, right? Health, money, and relationships. But what's interesting, if you remember, one of the first notes I said in the video was happiness. It really is just progress in these three sectors of life, right? That's what's really interesting. It's like, if you are making the right moves in your career, if you are taking care of your health, and if you are spending time and making sure your relationships are those of you being selfless versus selfish, you will be happy. I think so. But now with purpose, that's like really what's the most important thing out of all of this. And what I've come to is like the main question of why have we been brought here on earth? Personally, for me, it's like the main three things that I feel would be my purpose is first, like being of service to people, right? Having selfless service, being of service to my loved ones, just all human beings in general, and all souls. And one thing I've realized, very important tip, is how sometimes when we're in a social setting, we're a little insecure of ourselves, or we feel a little like conscious of how we look, or like we're in our own head. The quick tip to making sure that never happens to you, it's very powerful. If you're in the mindset of how I can serve or how I could uh, bring value to people around me, that'll switch instantly. You'll see it. It's literally life changing. Something that I've been working on right now. It's like if I'm in a random crowd, right, in public, I don't know anyone. If I start having that mentality of just love for people, and just this mentality of how can I bring value to these guys? How can I bring a smile to their face? That gives me so much more confidence than than anything, than any grooming hack, than any nice clothes. The one thing that's given me most security when I'm in that type of public group is having that one mentality shift. That how can I be of service to people? How can I bring value or just a smile to their face? So that's one. It's one very powerful thing that I have personally found. Now, the second thing is being grateful, right? There's so many things that we have to be grateful for, and it's hard to be considerate and mindful of those when things are hard in life, but they have to be. For us to grow, things have to be hard, right? So being grateful in those times of in those times of difficulty, that's something that I've really started to realize and learn the power of. And the third thing is being ethical. I think that's very key because I think being ethical is also a bit of a byproduct of being of service and having that mentality of bringing value to people. But also, like, just like look at the drawing board, right? Are we nonviolent? Are we honest? Are we chaste? Are we selfless? Are we humble? These are the things that it's nice on a daily basis to really introspect yourself and see where you can kind of weed out the imperfections in your ethical living. So those are like the three things that I look at for my purpose. And the happiness, again, it's simply just progress in these areas and as well in this area, making sure I'm ethical. That is basically the quadrant that I kind of look at life as right now. And the systems that I shared in this video, they're my current perspective as to how I can level up and how we can level up everywhere. And so that's a wrap. That is We Level Up Everywhere's episode number 1 in the books. If you've liked this, if this brought you value, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.